This week on Xenomania, the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War serves as the backdrop for one of the darkest fairy tales ever filmed. A young girl and her mother are brought to a Spanish military compound in the midst of an ongoing battle with guerrillas. As conditions worsen, Ofelia sinks further into a fantasy world where she may be the lost princess of a vast underground kingdom. Is this merely a child's imagination run wild, or is she soon to return to her father? This is Pan's Labyrinth. This is Xenomania.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Say. No way, no way. You guys whiffed horribly on that. You had to do the what does the faun say?
Oh, I thought we were just
Oh,
doing
I
the
thought we were
noises.
just doing the noises.
What does the fawn say?
Yeah. We gotta do another open. There's no way that's the opener for this episode. No, sir. Do you want to try it again? Now it's gonna be so forced.
No, it won't.
It won't.
That's like
It
the
won't.
Blue Oyster Club.
The Blue Oyster Club.
The
Cult?
Blue Oyster
Blue
Cult?
Oyster Cult?
Oh no, not the Blue Oyster Club. Sorry, the Blue Oyster.
Oh, from Police Academy.
Police Academy.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotcha.
I thought we were
Failing to see the
fearing-
connection, but understand the reference.
I thought we were fearing the Reaper.
Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been a little bit more on the nose for this episode, which is on
Fair.
Pan's Labyrinth, everybody.
Yeah,
Took
bloody.
took me a while to watch this. You guys had to hold me down and do some Clockwork Orange, and I loved it. And watching it a second time made me love it even more.
So
You don't remember the eye drops, John? The eye drops.
No, I remember. I just don't like the vision of us holding you down.
Yeah. Yeah. Making him take his medicine. The medicine was a brilliant film by Guillermo del Toro.
And all three of
Take
us
your
say
time, take your
Guillermo
time
del
muting your
Toro.
mic there, Bull Hurley. The listeners are gonna love this. Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ. Die quietly.
But can we all say Guillermo del Toro today?
Yeah, well, he can barely speak. right
Guillermo?
now. No.
Guillermo.
How many
Guillermo.
Guillermo del Toro movies have we done so far?
I think this is only the second.
Only second. Frankenstein in this. Oh
Yeah.
man. One day I
Frankenstein.
hope we
Frankenstein
do
and
in the
Pan's
Mountains
Labyrinth.
of Madness. And the Mountains of Madness is the project I know that I want him to do the most. And it's never gonna happen. But oh man.
Isn't he working on it? Or is
I
that
mean,
one
they've
of
been-
those
they've
pipe
They've
dreams?
been trying. Pipe Dream Project, yeah. They've been trying, but no studio wants to go after it.
Well, it's a possibility because they're doing I don't know if it's like if they've done it before. I think they did it in Russia as the adaptation of The Master and the Margarita. And it's really a book they never really touched on. It's from Russia. It's about the idea of this author against communism, and the devil and the demons come out during Halloween and cause havoc. But it's the idea of how they're kind of doing tricks to show people the wrong way, and like how hell is like more rehabilitation, and the relationship between hell and heaven and Satan and God. It's quite interesting, but the whole theme is communism and how people should watch its downfall.
Is that the theme of In the Mountains of Madness?
No, but it's a project that took a while for them to get a hold of and to do.
I got it now.
It's really like the book is great, but it's a touchy subject to cover, and they did it in Russia in the 50s, but to do it now, there's possibilities, my friend. That's why.
Saying
Plus, I love
there's
the
a chance. He's saying there's a chance.
Mikhail is his name, the author. The last name, Mikhail.
I mean, at worst, there's always streaming companies that need content.
Yeah, but then it's gonna be garbage.
I mean, Frankenstein wasn't.
That's true.
True.
That wasn't just a content grab. That was a trophy grab. And
It was
they didn't
also cut
They
up.
didn't grab the trophy, unfortunately.
If they didn't cut it up and actually left the 30 minutes that they did cut out, I think it would have been fine for an Academy Award.
I mean,
But we'll see when they release it.
yeah, we'll see when it's released if that's really the case. I mean,
They ignore the bride.
I'm gonna trust the people who edit for Guillermo del Toro and probably del Toro himself that 30 minutes didn't benefit the movie.
I'm going to probably agree because the bride in Frankenstein isn't like a women's lib character or anything like that. She functions to just further the monster's rage towards Frankenstein. So I think they established that pretty well in the movie anyway, and cutting it didn't hurt the story overall. But I haven't seen 30 minutes. It might be the best 30 minutes of the film.
I mean, based on that, Ryan, what movie is better with 30 minutes added back into it?
It's a
Honey,
good
I Shrunk the
question.
Kids.
Yeah, but the
Definitely
thing
Honey, I Shrunk the
I never really seen. So I got to still see Apocalypse Now, the final cut, which
The
he has
Redux?
no. He did a
Oh.
final cut, which is an extra hour
Oh,
of footage. But I would say it's only 3 minutes. But I mean, like, there was nothing different of watching dirty work compared to dirtier work. It was just like a little more inappropriate, which made it even better based on the style of comedy of Norm Macdonald.
I got
But
one. Obsession. There was about
oh yeah,
6 seconds cut from the movie, and I thought it was pretty good.
the brick.
Like, yeah, absolutely. So, like, I think there's a big difference between like 5 or 7 minutes that's cut to get a rating versus
Oh yeah, we're just being goobers.
30 minutes that's cut to make a movie flow.
I got one,
Okay.
and it does make it flow for my comic book fans. Batman versus Superman, the Snyder edition, because they get more into Doomsday and Krypton and the history.
Are
So
you
it kind of
rage-baiting me?
flushes this out.
He
No, it
might
just
be
flushes
right on
it
that
out.
one though.
Are
He
you-
might be
flushes
right on
it
that
out.
one.
Are you rage baiting me with Snyder
No.
cuts?
No, it just fleshes the story out better because when I saw it in theaters, unless you're a comic book fan who knows the story of Doomsday, you already know they messed it up, but you're like, all right, I get it.
They
Well, other
continued
people
to
are
mess
like,
it
what
up
the
in the
hell?
Snyder cut too. The Doomsday should have been
Mhm.
a three movie build up, not a. It's not the Avengers Assemble movie. That was
Mm-mm.
Loki for a reason, not Thanos. That was the mistake they made. They were trying to like catch up to Marvel, dummies.
I know nothing about your Superman and Batman's Snyder cuts.
You're
And
right.
I didn't
Do you
even
know
see
about-
that one.
Do you know about Darkman?
Darkman, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Darkman is
Alright.
legit.
that remake that, please, or a TV
No,
series, please.
No,
All right.
don't
Give me a
touch
TV
Darkman.
series.
We don't need to remake anything. And
or a
while we're
TV
at it,
series.
that thing you sent me about Indy Navarrete, they
Yeah.
thought you're doing a Marvel next. Hell no. Just keep
I'm-
doing your own thing.
Yeah, but I mentioned in the
Stop.
last
Her own thing
episode.
might be to make $10 million though.
I mean, maybe,
Yeah.
but like, there's time for that. Like, go back and get that later. The same with the Curry Barker Texas Chainsaw rumor. Keep making your own original stuff. You don't,
Agreed.
you don't have to fall. You just made the biggest hit independent movie. You can make anything in the world that you've ever thought of. Why do Texas Chainsaw again?
Oh, okay.
I was going to rush us
say-
along, but that message is needed to get out there. But now I'm going to rush us along because we're 8 minutes
Yes.
and 6 seconds into an episode we haven't talked about yet. Speaking of original movies, Pan's Labyrinth is a pretty damn original idea. What's the setting, John?
So it's 1944 Spain, near a region called Navarre or Navarra, which is in
Dave Navarro.
yes, exactly like Dave Navarro. So it's in a region of Spain that's right near Basque country. And I mean, maybe you don't. I didn't know a whole lot about this before I sat down and read about it the other day. The Basques were really still holdouts against Francisco Franco and his fascist regime that took over right before the start of World War II during the Spanish Civil War. They ran the communists and socialists out and replaced them with fascists, which, anywhere there's fascists and communists in history, they don't get along.
No.
The Basques continued to fight. The Basques and the Catalans in particular continued to fight Franco. And that's where we are in this movie. We're somewhere near Navarre, which is near the Basque territory, and you get the guerrilla warfare fighting against Franco's soldiers trying to
When the
eradicate it.
gorillas fight each other like that.
Always got to throw the feces.
It's terrible.
There's crap
Still-
everywhere.
So
But
this
it-
movie,
It sets the tone right from like the opening, where even before you get into the whole Spain thing, you get the whole fairy tale story, and it jumps into this like gothic horror tone with the music and this like, I want to say, this charming but scary melody playing in the background.
Mhm.
the
And
music score is a huge part of why this movie is great.
it just, like, even watching it today, like, it gives me goosebumps. It's not like a Nightmare on Elm Street goosebumps of hearing the Freddy song, but it's like a good goosebump where it's like you're going on for this great ride.
It's transportational.
Yeah, it's like you can trust. Like, I love it, the fact when you can trust a director. And I only have a few directors I trust where I can just like sit there and be comfortable. And Del Toro is one of those directors.
And alternate worlds, whatever the genre is, there's a subgenre for it, is definitely something this fits in. Another one of my favorite movies is Spirited Away, parallels Pan's Labyrinth very well, except for the ending.
Spirited Away.
Yeah,
Ghibli?
Spirited Away is, Ghibli.
It is Ghibli.
Is
All
an
the Gimli.
outstanding movie. Another one where the child is thrust into adventure on her own. It's a Bildungsroman, same style concept. I don't know if Pan's is a Bildungsroman though, but there's certainly the adventure part. I mean, it can be if you how it depends on how you interpret the end, but we'll get to that. So
Yeah.
we get Mercedes from Y Tu Mama Tambien playing mom. And we have Ofelia, our main character, the little girl. And unfortunately for Ofelia, mom is marrying the worst guy ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
The captain is probably the most ruthless villain we've talked about on this show.
I think
Yeah,
it's
if we're like thinking about real life sort of stuff.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say Bear kind of holds a candle on that. Just to
Bear?
say,
Bear's
From
a
Obsession?
He's
that guy
not-
was a
he's
bad
not
Eat up
guy.
But
30
stuff.
minutes of the friggin' episode. No, you're wrong. We're gonna move on.
He's not ruthless. He's a
wrong.
loser. He's a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a loser
He's
villain.
dangerous in his ineptitude.
The captain is just like, and that like it gives you that little hint into where Franco and his regime was aligned in World War II, that they definitely, despite being non-belligerents, were more in line with things that Germany and Italy were doing than they were with what the Allies were governmentally and societally.
They just weren't a huge factor, so we weren't in there.
Yeah,
They weren't a big problem, so we didn't put manpower.
Yeah, I mean, their civil war ended in 39 and World War II starts in 39. They're not in a real shape to be involved. And they're, in the reading about this, there are scholars that say, well, Franco was making outrageous demands of Hitler because he didn't want to join the war. And I don't know. I think he was making outrageous demands of Hitler because he wanted outrageous things for Spain.
I think you're probably right about that.
See that?
He and Mussolini were more closely related in their paper tough guy sort of roles. Big in their countries, but world stage jokes kind of thing. So that establishes the real world's, issue. And then we get the folklore. The magic of the movie. The first magical thing Ofelia sees in the movie. Ryan saw it today, so he'll know.
It's when she picks up the stone, she puts the stone back in, and the bug comes out.
Bug
It's
comes
very.
out.
It's it looks like a caterpillar, or like Jiminy Crickets, something like that. But you have that magical essence, how it follows her and trails her, and there's something special building right there. And then especially when it well, I don't want to get to that part yet. I'll rewind. Is when they get to the house, the captain's house, the property, and all that. She finds the path to the labyrinth, which is already mystical. And again, gothic horror. I said it earlier. That gothic theme that's throughout it is just awesome. The architecture and everything.
We have the fairy. So we immediately get the fairy, which is the bug. Because you see the bug be a bug, and you see the bug be a fairy. And that also is cool for the viewer because you get to decide, is it a real bug? Is it a real fairy? It immediately puts the question in your mind, which sort of sets the tone for the big question at the end of the movie, too. And then there's the faun, which is our next big character in the movie. The faun is cool.
Yeah, he is.
The faun is cool. But there was always some sort of discussion about why it was a faun instead of Pan, a satyr. So why wasn't it a correct mythological beast?
I would think it's to throw possibly viewers off. Because, like, you would think it's...
You're giving the viewers a lot of credit to be able to
Well,
differentiate what everybody thinks is the same animal or
I have high,
mythological animal.
I have high hopes because, like, it's like a thin line. Like, thinking about when I first watched it, when you see the faun, it's like, is he good? Is he bad? Because usually fawns and like how he's attired basically is not a good creature. They're tricksters and malevolent, and you're kind of like at that crossroads. That's the word.
Yeah, I guess you're right. By the way, I had to correct myself in episode correction because I was like, Pan's not a satyr. Pan isn't a satyr, but satyrs are the same makeup. They are half goat, half men. Pan is a half goat, half man, but he is not called a satyr because he's a god. So with the faun, with regard to the faun, before we move past it too much, the title, people think the title is a misnomer, and it is because it's not Pan's Labyrinth. It's the faun's labyrinth, really. So did they say Pan's Labyrinth because the audience would like it? It does have a nice ring to it. It's a great title. Or was it a translation error? What do you guys think?
It's translation. I think it's something that goes away in translation.
You might be right about that. I think that's a translation error in Guillermo del Toro's favor. Because I think
Yes.
the Labyrinth of the Faun or the Faun's Labyrinth wouldn't have been nearly as like pop.
Would you have gone to see it? Like, if you just heard the title, not knowing the director.
I stumbled upon Pan's Labyrinth
Okay.
when it came out. I had no pride. It was one of the best movies I've ever experienced, and it enhanced the experience by not knowing anything about it.
But if you saw it as Faun's Labyrinth,
Would I have gone to see it? Probably not.
I would have seen it anyway.
Yeah.
Because those trailers sold that movie real hard for me.
Oh, you saw the
I went-
trailers.
Yeah, I went and saw it in theaters. So
I feel like the
visual
trailers
masterpiece,
were everywhere.
Unreal. But the folklore of the movie, really, you've got two sort of areas of it. You have the actual allusions to folklore and Greek mythology and things like that with the faun. The faun is like a chaotic, neutral sort of character. They don't really root for you or against you. They just sort of are, and you have to navigate them like fording a river or something like that. The faun is there. How do you deal with the faun? That kind of thing. In this case, he acts as a guide for Ofelia as she's going through this experience. And the experience is dealing with the horrors of the post-Spanish Civil War and the captain.
like, as we mentioned, the captain is a ruthless dude. You know, he is determined to root out the guerrillas at the expense of really any of the locals, as you know, evidenced by two innocent rabbit hunters
That scene's
who were
brutal.
brought in. Yeah, that's a rough one. You know,
I forgot about it.
especially when you realize when it's determined that they are just hunters. And
That
he's-
was like I feel like I was thinking of Zorro from the 50s, the Disney one, when like the Captain Garcia makes a mistake when he's like, you should look in the bag more, like go deeper in the bag, and he pulls out the rabbit
Oh.
after he like unalives both of them.
Both have rabbits and both have Spanish people. I get the connection now. I keep doing that all night.
See, I don't think it would have mattered to the captain anyway. I don't think he felt any remorse in it.
No,
This is
he
a-
Oh, the
needed
captain didn't. No.
he
Yeah,
needed to keep
whatever.
people in line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
so
Look,
that
this
served
is
his
what
purpose
this
too.
is what I'll do. This is how
Mhm.
far I'm willing to take this.
It doesn't take Ophelia or her mother very long to establish the fact that he is a very dangerous man. And that's part of her that's like her inception journey into the labyrinth and the faun's world is because of that danger. She needs to build up ways to get through that, to weather the captain, basically.
You don't
And there's
feel the
this series of
mother.
trials.
Sorry, I was gonna say you don't feel the mother is clouded because I feel like she sees these horrible things and she's like, I guess she's thinking for the best for Ophelia based on what the captain can offer, based on money and protection and all that. So like, I feel like, wouldn't you think she's a little more clouded from the whole thing?
No.
I
No.
think she's not really fully aware of it because, she's pregnant and not a particularly healthy pregnancy. So
The sickness.
I think she just has other things on her mind and isn't really capturing the full extent of the captain because they met in a different place in a different like him in a different role. Maybe was way more charming, in a town
So
atmosphere where he's not in charge of eliminating gorillas.
where you kind of go with it with the infirm state she's in makes her like clouded about it. I think that the infirm state, I think she's aware of it, but the infirm state makes it so that she can't do anything about it.
I
And
think
she just tries to guide Ophelia to like do the best she can, but she knows, I mean, she's a woman at that time with that kind of guy. She knows there's nothing she can do.
Yeah, I think she becomes more aware.
Yeah.
But I mean, even right up to her end, she's kind of just going along with what the captain wants her to do.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Mandrake, which we'll talk about later on.
She's not a guardian to Ophelia very much in this movie. Ophelia is very much so on her own in a lot of aspects. And she's the hero.
What about Mercedes?
Yeah, I mean,
She's kind of there supporting her a little bit.
The back half of the movie, Mercedes becomes an ally to a degree, as much as Mercedes is available to be because she has a whole lot other things going on too.
Which her character is interesting because she, as much as she wants to help, she's more into her own agenda, which I like. You don't see that a lot in like recent movies, and this is it's 2006 or 20 years old. Thinking this movie's 20 years old now, it's like crazy. But it's like, well, you can see the differences even now from 2006, like the whole idea when it was like 95, 96, and we're like, remember the big differences of the 70s, and now you can say it's the same thing now from 2026 to 2006, and they're very noticeable.
Mercedes' character might be the Faun. There's a theory that everybody's a double in this movie. The Bug, the Fairy, Mercedes, the Faun, Pale Man, and the Captain. I don't know who the Toad might be, but we could probably figure somebody out pretty easily. The Mandrake wouldn't have a double because he's not a person. But yeah, like each one of those things, because of the idea that everything is a fantasy in this movie, might as well get that out of the way now. There's an idea that everything is a concoction by Ophelia to be able to handle this experience because it's incredibly traumatic and she's a young girl. And so it's almost like the championing of the child's imagination over evil, which is really how I see this movie, why I find it to be so beautiful. Yeah. I was kind of hoping to drop that dime in about minute 50, but I'll get it out of the way now, I guess.
No, that was awesome. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I just to like circle back to Mercedes a little bit too, is she is in no way obligated to help Ophelia, but when she makes her decision that she has to get out of there, she goes for Ophelia. Like that's not even a question. She risks her own escape to try to get Ophelia out.
Which would make her diverge from the Faun a bit, because the Faun wouldn't do it.
No, the Faun skedaddled a couple of times. He's just like, deuces.
Yeah, he's also
I feel like
stern with her a few times too. He can be a mean Faun.
think Mercedes got a little bit of the sternness, especially when they have to go and stuff. But I also feel like the only reason why she gets pushed to that limit is she knows what the captain can do,
Yeah.
and the fact that her mom is basically spoilers, becomes unalive eventually in the movie, and I feel like she's got to help her. I feel like she's in a corner at that point because she of everything that can happen.
Yeah.
Which,
We may have talked this talking point down to its bones.
it's a great movie. I mean, it's just like there's a lot to like unbox with it.
Do you think
It's
it
like
would
a
be better
mystery
in
box.
3D?
Yes, based on all the work he's put into it and just the time, the money, October 9th, premiere date. Yes, sign me
So
up.
what Brian's describing is the very real Pan's Labyrinth 3D re-release that's coming out. That took years to produce. So not only the 3D aspects, but I believe the entire CGI portion of the film got a once-over.
Yeah, he did. I was reading about it. I don't remember all the specifics, but yeah, beyond the 3D, there's some CGI cleanup, some sound cleanup that he did. I mean, it sounds like if you're into the 3D element of it, it's going to be an even better experience.
Imagine the fairies coming out to you, a lot of the action scenes right in front of your face. This is like the eyes.
I
On the
mean,
rewatch too, like the frog, I really hope they do something with that frog scene.
imagine 3D Pale Man chasing her down the hole.
Oh,
Yep.
that's scary. That's gonna be cool. We're gonna go see it. We're definitely gonna go see it
Yeah,
together. It's
absolutely.
gonna be fun.
It'll be
I'm down.
my first theatrical 3D movie.
And if
Really?
you rewatch it after this episode, or you rewatched it before, and you're like, "Man, this didn't hold up," remember they put a lot of money into the practical effects of that suit. That Faun suit was no joke.
Yeah, they did. But you never seen a 3D movie?
Not in theaters now.
Wow, I
I've
got a
done them
one
at
up on
home with
you.
her. Yeah, it's not my favorite cinema trick.
No.
I'm not super into the 3D.
Were you more
Remember
into the
3D 's
scratch and
weird.
sniff?
No,
Whoa.
I just
Yeah.
like a movie. I
You don't
just
remember that?
I
What
remember.
about
I remember. Like,
4D?
but like I go back to like there being 3D movies on WPIX during like Halloween, and there'd be the 3D glasses in the Daily News. That's how you got the
That's
3D
cool.
glasses. You'd buy
Yeah.
the Daily News. There'd be a couple free pairs of glasses, and you'd sit at home with your glasses on. And they worked on other 3D things. Like I watched, Jaws in 3D, Jaws 3 in 3D. I watched Friday the 13th in 3D, but I've never gone to a movie theater to see a 3D movie.
I
Yeah.
saw Spy Kids in 3D. Yeah,
Man, it's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Lava Girl. What a
And Shark
wonderful
Boy?
career she's had. Shark Boy didn't come up, ironically enough. And this is one of those things where if you know, you know, everybody. If you know, you know.
That's
It's
not lava
like
there.
that Full House Easter egg. There's a similar Easter egg for Full House.
She's
So
in New
yeah,
York.
there is the re-release coming. They put a lot, or GDT put a lot of money into it and a lot of time, more time than money. And it got the attention of James Cameron. There's a lot of people who really love and respect this movie. And I think Del Toro wants to give it its re-release so that it can kind of become timeless, as opposed to people watching it and being like, "Ooh, whoa, that scene did not hold up."
Cameron actually put a minimum amount of days for him to complete it. He was saying that if you do less than 300, we're going to have a problem. You must go over 300 in order to have the perfect film that you want. So it was a nice support from Jimmy Cam,
Yeah.
And
Still waiting for Aquaman.
I very much appreciate that he's not using AI to do it.
Yeah.
Worse. Of
It
course.
was a big speech at San Diego Comic-Con. We sent it to each other. I mean, that's like to say, hey, screw AI. It's a big thing, especially in the industry where AI is trying to take over everything.
It's an industry run by sellout shills, so of course
Yeah.
the AI thing is getting crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, Pans has to hold a special place to him, but also really to any movie fan, because this is if you like Del Toro, this to me is the first time you see his full vision on screen. Like you see what he can do some in Hellboy and Blade and Mimic, Chronos, anything that came before. You saw what he could do, but now he has a budget and his own template to work off. You know, the Hellboy creations existed from somebody else. He just made them alive. These
That's
are
a good point.
this is his vision. And it's the first time like mainstream audiences are seeing fully Del Toro's visions.
It only took one more for him to get an Academy Award, because the second one was Shape of Water, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people felt this movie was heavily snubbed. I think it was like 13 nominations. I could be overblowing that, but it was a lot of nominations. And it only won for costume.
Which is shocking because it nails everything you would think the Academy would want. But I mean,
even win Best Foreign Film.
Oh, I need to look up what did.
Yeah, we got to see that because, but it had Best Director. It was up for Best Film or Best Picture. It was up for a lot. I just don't think the people who were voting on it watched it.
No, I don't think they did either. The winner for Best Foreign Film that year was The Lives of Others, a German movie directed by Florian Henkel von Donnersmarck.
Well, Donnersmarck is probably very talented, but he didn't win that year.
No, I don't think they.
What won Best Picture that year? Because I was pissed. Like I threw the remote that night.
If we're talking about the Academy, that was The Departed.
Yep, that won then. That won then.
I mean, Pans wasn't nominated for that, and
I thought it was.
Based on what was nominated, I think The Departed is probably deserving. I haven't seen Babel.
And of course, Marty's going to win director.
I haven't seen The Queen.
Babel's fantastic.
But it was also Letters from Iwo Jima and Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine was also a fantastic
Little Miss
movie.
Sunshine is good, but it never felt like a Best Picture.
No, absolutely not.
I think Pans could have slotted in its place just fine, to be honest with you.
Hey, Pans could have slotted in there anywhere. And I mean, you know, a few years later when they expanded the number of nominations, it probably does get nominated.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, how does Little Miss Sunshine beat Pan's Labyrinth in original screenplay?
Doesn't. It is an original screenplay.
It did.
It shouldn't.
Which is crazy.
It just shouldn't. It's just not as good of a screenplay. It's not as good of I mean, look at the difference in what you have to do with Pan's screenplay and Little Miss Sunshine. Little Miss Sunshine had a dance number. Maybe that's why.
It's a feel good. That's where it gets to. It's the feel good. And Pan's Labyrinth, I'm going to be honest, it's not your feel good, but it makes you walk out of the theater feeling like thinking differently and thinking about
haunting.
Yes,
the best way to put it. It's hauntingly beautiful.
Yep. You finish watching Pans and you're thinking.
Yes, and that's what I like.
And I mean, I like both ways. I like walking out of a movie with my brain completely wiped because it was just that like a wild ride or whatever.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah,
call that the Tropic Thunder.
Or walking out of a movie with my brain open and just thinking about that movie for a week.
Yep, makes you really contemplate everything a little bit more for some, just because you experienced it. Even when you're not thinking of it, your mind is open.
And that's what this whole week has been with Pans again. Like I watched it again on Monday, and I haven't really watched a movie since. Like we've had some movies on that, but I haven't necessarily paid attention to them as much because I've been thinking about Pans.
Yeah,
I was a clean slate.
Sometimes I like to bungee them when I rewatch Pans, and then I watch Spirited Away. But what I did when I was deep diving into Pans a little bit for this episode, I found a few other movies that are very similar in their, not the spirit theme of the movie, but their tone and having a sort of a mythological edge to them, or a folklore edge. One of them is The Killing of the Sacred Deer is going to be one that I watch very soon because of that. I can't believe we haven't talked about it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
No, not yet.
I think it's Colin Farrell.
Yes, It's Colin Farrell, and that's Yorgos Lanthimos.
There he is again. That Greek god.
I haven't really dug into much of his stuff. I think I was looking the other day after you sent the thing about killing of a sacred deer. I think the only thing I've seen is Begonia.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Until that point. Killing of the Sacred Deer, by the way, the allusion for that, since the Odyssey's out, I might as well mention it, is that's what Agamemnon, in the actual story of the, was it even the Iliad, where he gets killed? Agamemnon's killed by his wife for killing his daughter, and he had to kill his daughter because he killed Artemis's sacred deer. So it was a
think it-
life for a life. He had to give a life because he took a life. That was his punishment.
I think it's the Iliad.
It is the Iliad?
Yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
remember that happening in the Odyssey.
He was probably already presumed dead for most of
Yeah.
the Odyssey anyway. And then in the movie The Odyssey, they like the, there's Agamemnon Chad. You've seen him in all the memes, I'm sure. And they change why he dies. They change. That's one of the things when I watched the movie and I said, wow, they really took some liberties, but they really worked. It was a great movie. And
Okay.
everybody challenged me immediately. Was like, what do you mean they changed? It's exactly the same. I was like, but it's not though. It's not exactly the same. He changed like tons of stuff.
He made it into his own vision.
Exactly. It was fine. Agamemnon's killed by his wife in that one because he kills his daughter to have favorable odds. Actually, I think in the movie they say winds to get to Troy. Like, bro,
Okay.
wind's gonna blow. Winds be blowing. But anyway, that movie built on the same concepts, and once you're seeing what the movie's about, that like kind of hits harder. It's pretty cool. There's definitely a supernatural edge, so we definitely have to watch that. Hey, you guys want to play a game?
I mean, I'm down for a game. I have
Play a
one.
game.
I have a
What-
new one,
Oh no.
a new format. I think this is going to be a fun one. I think it's one you're not going to terribly regret your decisions at the end of it. And it's one I can participate in too.
Yay.
So
Okay.
our game tonight for this episode is going to be called Live, Visit, or Nuke. I'm going to present 3 locations, 3
Oh, no.
3 movies, 3 universes, 3 towns, 3 whatever. And you have to decide if you would like to live there, just visit, or nuke the whole place. And it's kind of in the theme of FMK. For those of you who know what FMK stands for or have played, that's what we're looking for here. So we'll start easy. Live, visit, or nuke the world of Pans, the world of Frankenstein, or the world of Pacific Rim.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Ooh. All right. I'm going to visit Frankenstein's world. I'm going to visit Frankenstein's world. I might live there. Nah, I'm going to live there because it doesn't mean I have to live with Frankenstein. I'm just in the world, so I'm just living in Victorian era wherever.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the
Would suck.
general vicinity of where Frankenstein is.
Oh, okay. So he's
You're not like
out.
on the other side of the world.
So there's a chance he could like tear my head off or something.
Yeah, I mean,
If you run into him,
there's a chance you encounter him.
Okay. I'm still going to go with that over kaiju. And keep in mind, the people who are protecting you in Pacific Rim are like the people who barely graduated from high school. They're like the first string varsity football players put in giant robots making decisions that may win or lose the world. I have a feeling that, to me, that would be the most horrific world to live in, would be the Pacific Rim one.
So you're going to nuke
Unfortunately.
Pacific Rim?
I'm definitely nuking Pacific Rim. Visiting it would suck too. And then what was our third one again?
Pan's
Pans.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, I'll visit Pan's. But that means I could visit the fantasy portion, right?
You
I
get to
go
visit
walking
that
down there?
whole
Yeah.
worllt. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
You might meet
Yeah.
the
I'll
captain.
get to Mercedes, and we'll get a little guidance, and we'll head down to the labyrinth
I
and
mean,
see some monsters.
You might meet the captain too.
I might, but
You might meet the Pale Man.
I might. But
Brian?
it's just a visit.
I'm
Ryan, where are
going.
you?
I'm going the same way. To live in Frankenstein's world, as long as I avoid him, the Victorian time would be amazing to live and just experience, especially how Del Toro signifies in his version of Frankenstein. Pan's Labyrinth, I'd visit, like just to get a taste. but be able to escape if I have to. Don't want to run into the captain. And then nuke Pacific Rim. It's just those creatures have to go.
Okay. I'm nuking Pacific Rim because
I just
we
say
all
no
agree.
chance, no chance you're surviving that. Like, uh, not knowing when a freaking kaiju is gonna pop out of the ocean and attack you, forget it. Forgetting who's even defending me. Just that concept is a big no.
What, Jax
Think
Teller?
about how much anxiety we have today without kaiju. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna visit Frankenstein.
Okay.
That's a world
Oh,
that
he's
would be
not
kind
living
of
there.
cool, but I'm not super into living there, and
The
I'll
lack of
live in
plumbing,
Cannes.
you know?
He said that's exactly what it comes down to for me. I've thought about traveling back in time quite often lately, and I only want to go as far back as indoor plumbing.
Just jump in the lake.
You're gonna need a lot of lakes.
Just,
You need a lot of lakes. I can't even get by without a bidet anymore. Once you've started living that life, you're never going back. You're never
I don't
going
have
back.
the
Believe
luxury,
me.
sir.
I mean, I have I think it's a $60 toilet attachment.
It's a triple Lindy shoe. Oh, I can't say that. It's a triple Lindy gusher right there.
I get that reference because Rodney Dangerfield was a turd. That's the connection.
It's got no respect.
No respect for him.
Not
All right.
telling you. All right,
All
next
right.
one.
What's the next one?
We're gonna go Woodsboro, Haddonfield, or Springwood.
Woodsboro, Haddonfield, or Springwood?
Springwood. Oh, Elm Street.
Woodsboro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I know how I'm doing this.
Go ahead.
yeah,
So-
that's his.
I would nuke. Sorry, Freddie. I would nuke Springwood. I always call it out. I'd nuke Springwood. Get the nightmares out of there. Just eliminate that. I would visit Haddonfield. Being a Halloween fan, a visit would be fine. But would I want to live there? No, because Michael, he's unstoppable. Whether he's got a colt, whether he's just a shape, there's no way of stopping him. So a nice visit. But I would live in Woodsboro. If anything can happen, I mean, the ghost-faced are human. So there's chance.
Point.
There's
Mhm.
chance.
It's the least supernatural of the three.
Yep.
It's kind of tough to argue with that logic.
Visit Spring. Like, I was thinking about visiting Springwood, but what happens if you fall asleep? You're done. You're done. You're done.
I'm gonna nuke Michael Myers. I wonder if that would keep him down. And there's no way to know unless you try.
Mhm.
So
If
just
a
because,
hos-
just
if a
because I
hospital
want to see
fire
if it
can't
works.
stop him.
And I can visit Freddy. How long do I have to visit for?
24 hours.
I can stay away for 24 hours. I'll visit Freddy.
No. 30 days.
30 days.
It's a 30-day visit. It's a month. It has to be enough time that you can just
Realistic.
not sleep for a day.
Wait, so 30 days in Haddonfield? Or I would still take that.
But obviously your 30 days in Haddonfield has to be in October.
But I can't. Wait, oh, no,
There's
that
31
works.
days in October.
Exactly. So you go from
Starting
October 1st.
October 2nd.
That's damn it.
I mean, you still have a pretty good shot. He doesn't take out much of the town population in each one of those encounters. You still have a pretty good shot. I might.
Halloween ends. He eliminates the
Uh-huh.
whole town.
He eliminates the whole town in that one film
That one scene.
at the very end.
Only because they went after him.
True. I wouldn't
He-
be doing
he
that.
went
I would not.
there.
I'm not gonna have that problem because I'm nuking him. And then at that point, whatever. So visit. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same as Ryan from there. I just switched Nightmare on Elm Street with it, so
Okay.
I'll do that.
I would nuke Springwood because, I mean, you have to sleep.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm gonna visit Woodsboro. I know enough about horror to survive Ghostface. I think. I think I know the rules. I can dodge that enough. And I'm going to live in Haddonfield because you only have one night a year to survive. I'm not a babysitter. I'm not going to be running around the streets on Halloween night. You keep the doors closed, you pull the shades, you don't answer for trick-or-treaters, which, is perfect for me anyway. That's where I am. I'll live in
Okay.
Haddonfield.
Fair.
All right.
Okay.
Next one, we're going to camp.
Hmm.
The Burning, Friday the 13th, or Sleepaway Camp. Which camp?
Burning would be the funniest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna visit the Burning. I'm gonna nuke Friday the 13th. I think. I don't know if I want to live in any of these though. I don't want to live in any of these. First of all, I never wanted to go to like sleepaway camp as a kid. I went to wrestling camp. I didn't go to sleepaway camp.
I hated camp.
Yeah, I didn't go to camp. I was a feral street child growing up. We never went to camp. Camp costs money. I drank out of hoses during the summer, sirs. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that though. Sleepaway camp is where I'll live. I got a nuke. Silver Lake, man. Crystal Lake, I mean.
I'd nuke Sleepaway Camp.
Really?
I would nuke it. Yeah, I don't like the owner. That creepy
Like
old
him.
owner. That creepy old owner.
I could fend
You
him
know,
off.
just
There's
like
the better
soup-
shorts. Sleepaway camp has much better shorts.
Yeah, I don't want to wear the shorts.
You
I
don't
don't
have
want
to
to do that. I don't want to do
Get
that. But
be around all those dirty danglers, you know.
fair on that. Don't go near
Yeah.
the soup.
I get
Don't
that
go-
reference. Fight Club.
I was talking about Sleepaway Camp, but yes,
Yeah,
that one
dude,
is in,
Fight
that
Club
one's
too.
in that one's in Fight
Pots of
Club.
soup?
Yeah, pots of
Soupy.
soup. But I would visit Friday the 13th. I mean, for 30 days. Again, just one day, Friday the 13th. You just go through the whole day, and then you got the rest to recover, and it's all right. And I'd live in the Burning. I feel like that's a lot of fun. I mean, from watching the movie, I feel like those are the most normal of the counselors you've ever seen, besides the first or second Friday the 13th film. Because each one has their own caricature. Like they went with the whole Nightmare on Elm Street, where if like the Dream Warriors, you have your own personality, and they just furthered that in the Friday the 13th, the similarities.
Okay.
But that's what I would do.
All right.
So I'm gonna nuke the Burning because he's the most indiscriminate of these killers. Cropsy's not even killing at the same camp where he was victimized. He's just randomly out get people. So that could get nuked. I think I'd visit Friday the 13th. Sort of the same logic. I think I could get through the one night. And then I'd live in Sleepaway Camp because Angela wouldn't get mad at me because I'd be cool with Angela. I'm
Fair.
cool with people.
You are cool with people, John.
But she was cool with someone else, and you saw how that ended up.
She was cool with him until he got too pushy.
Oh yeah, fair.
Mm.
Okay, fair on that.
John's not too pushy.
No.
No.
All right.
Last
Next
one?
one. Two. We have two left. We have
Ooh, okay.
we have cabins and we
Yep.
have this one. We have all right. Zombie worlds.
Ooh.
Night of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead. World War Z.
Nuke World War Z, because you got
Yep.
no shot. You got no
We're
shot.
nuking that.
There's no shot. Usain Bolt's not outrunning those things, and they don't tire. They're supernatural beings. They're not reanimated dead. Night of the Living Dead, they're reanimated dead. And I mean, if they get widespread enough, you're still cooked. But at least at this point, you've got a lot of time. So I think I'm gonna live Night of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead, I'll visit, just because I feel like I got a better shot there than I do in World War Z.
I agree. Nuke World War Z because those zombies are fast. Visit Return because the chances of them nuking that is highly possible. So I'd rather visit in, just 30 days and live in night. I mean, we've seen night, we've seen dawn, we've seen day. We know how it's headed. They're slow moving zombies. We can handle it. No grouping.
Fair enough. I am not going this anywhere near the route you guys went. I'm nuking Return of the Living Dead.
What?
Really? Why?
Yep. Because that's the scariest form of zombie. They're unkillable.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't think
you
about
do
that.
make a point.
They're unkillable. I'm visiting Night of the Living Dead
I
because
could hide for 30 days there, though.
I have a zombie survival plan. I'm going to live in World War Z because World War Z is the only one they cured.
Yeah, but you got to make it there, dude.
Yeah.
They had like
gotta make it
4%
there.
of the world's population left by the time they found that cure.
At least there's a shot.
Yeah, I suppose.
Don't go on planes.
At
Didn't they
least
cure it by
there's a
getting
shot.
polio? Like
They,
that was
they cured it by
getting
creating a
polio.
vaccine, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess polio is often used. All right, that's a good
Alright.
point, John. It made us think.
All right, last one: cabins. Cabins in the woods.
Tracy's-
Evil Dead. Cabin in the woods. Cabin fever.
Cabin fever is a live. Cabin fever is a live. It's you know why? I'm 14 years old. That scene, rent free, Listerine. Never forget it. I'll never forget it for as long as I live. Cabin in the woods, you're just not gonna make it. They have buttons for if you do win, they still get you. The only reason the guys won in the version we saw is because they needed to make a movie. There's no situation in that where you make it. If the world depended on you perishing, you're gonna perish. So that's getting nuked. And I guess I'm visiting Evil Dead, and I'm probably not gonna make it out of that one alive. 30 days in the Evil Dead universe.
I think only one of these is really necessarily survivable.
Yeah.
Ryan?
So, because you got me thinking here. I'm definitely nuking Cabin in the Woods. Love the film, but again, it's like there's no way you're gonna make it out of there. Even if you win, you're not. They need to do the whole sacrifice, and you're gonna be messed up if you make it. And
You got
yeah, I
Hemsworth,
want-
man. I mean, we're not Hemsworth.
No,
They got
No.
smart. He was smart in that movie too.
I'd get the clown too. It'd be horrible.
Oh no.
It'd just be a horrible night. But I would visit Cabin Fever because I don't have to jump in the water. You know, I can
I mean, you
avoid
can catch
that.
it other ways. And are you going to turn that down? Are you going to turn that down?
Oh,
I know
that
you're
was
not.
That was traumatizing as a 12-year-old watching that.
You're going to know. You're going to know what could happen and will happen, and you're still going to get it.
No Listerine. No Listerine. But I think I can make it for 30 days there. But I would definitely live in the Evil Dead because you don't read the Necronomicon. Don't read it.
You don't
Don't
have to
listen
read
to it.
You don't have to read it. It jumps into
Yeah, all that has to happen is somebody else reads it.
I would
John's
make
gonna
sure
read it.
I would collect them all.
Oh,
and
I would
'em in the
100% read it if we were living in that universe.
It has a fun
Klaatu,
way of getting
Varatsu.
open. Oh no.
Necktie.
Don't you start.
Necktie. All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna nuke Cabin in the Woods. I think I'd live in Cabin Fever and visit Evil Dead.
Samesies. Yay.
A lot of Listerine.
listen,
a lot of
You need
Listerine.
like quite a bit of Listerine.
I keep some on hand all the time.
Is that it for the game?
That's it.
That's it for the game, everybody.
Wow,
That was a
that
fun
was-
game.
That was painless. I appreciate it. Really do. Next
Right,
week might be
everybody.
a different story, but
Speaking
We'll
of
see.
stories, let's talk about Del Toro's storytelling real quick. What do you guys think?
masterful.
Yeah, he's a top-notch storyteller, and he basically came in that way. The Devil's Backbone and Kronos, his storytelling is pretty impeccable, right on through. I mean, whatever you think about some of his movies, I know there are people who don't like Frankenstein as much as we did, but the way he tells that story is fantastic.
Brilliant. Thinking of just telling it in two parts from two perspectives. What an unbelievable idea. Nobody ever really thought of doing that, right?
For his own films, he finds a tone and he just keeps going along with the pace and how it works with it with a deep message. And I think that's the big thing is anything he's done for himself, Kronos, Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, even the I feel like Frankenstein, even though like it's like it's his own creation because he adds his influence to it. It's based on a work. And the same thing with Nightmare Alley. he leaves a message. But he does have fun. I mean, like Blade 2, Pacific Rim, even The Mimic and Hellboy, he has fun with those films where you can say, and the messages aren't as deep, but he can go both ways, and that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, it's interesting thinking about it that way because the movies he makes that are original ideas are generally more dark and serious thematically, and he chooses to adapt lighter fare.
Because he doesn't have to build that from the ground up. He can mold the clay kind of thing. The Mandrake might be the best part of the storytelling arc in the Pans for showcasing, not the best part of the movie or anything like that, but for showcasing his storytelling ability. Because that's like a mini movie within a movie. The Mandrake, where mom is sick, I gotta heal her. She goes out, she finds the Mandrake. The Mandrake is like steeped in lore. If you've ever gone into it at all, like what the Mandrake roots does, um, it's in the Bible. It's in Genesis. It helps Rachel conceive a child. It was known for like fertility, love, and all this other medicine. One of the cool things I found for researching the episode, though, is that its origin, people thought it grew from the blood of people who had been hanged.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
The history, not it happening, but just history.
No, yeah, we don't want people being executed, but we do like good lore. So, yeah, but all it is just a plant that looks like a person, and people grew superstition around that. And one of the other cool things is says farmers used to tie dogs to it and then throw meat and cover their ears to see if the mandrake would scream, because of the myth that it would kill you instantly, which is kind of cool.
That's where I went with it when I heard about the Mandrake root.
Then tying the screams into the movie too.
Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. The way he interweaves the real horror of the movie, and there's nothing more horrific than reality, really, into this mythological sort of veiled world, and using the Mandrake, and that showcases his storytelling ability for me. What did you guys think about the monster design? What do you guys think about the Pale Man?
Creepy.
The Pale Man is awesome. Yeah.
Would you want to see that sitting across from you?
No.
No.
God, no.
Yeah,
No. And to answer this, I'm not eating that fruit either.
Those grapes look delicious. I would have.
I mean,
if I have a, she had a magic chalk.
I am not touching that fruit.
It's the perfect lure for a child, though, isn't it?
Yep.
The perfect lure for a child. What kid would snap a cookie?
But who am I kidding? I just said I would read out of the Necronomicon.
You would. If you were hungry enough, you'd eat a grape in front of an evil being that looked like a statue. But was
Absolutely. I would, even if I wasn't hungry. Who am I kidding? As soon as you
grapes, looking at them.
As soon as you tell me not to do it, I'm doing it. So I'm done. Any of these worlds, I'm done, because I'm gonna do the thing they tell me not to do.
He's horrific. He's terrifying looking. Easily the scariest part of the movie. Quite easily. And then the only other one with monster design you could really consider monster design is the Faun, but it's an unbelievable design.
Oh yeah.
And it's the intricacies of that costume design. It just, the way he brings that to life.
Doug Jones was the actor in it.
That's his guy. Doug Jones.
Doug Jones?
Doug Jones is a regular Del Toro guy.
Imagine how strong you have to be. The horns are 10 pounds, and you're on stilts, 8-inch stilts. That's wild, dude. The physicality to make that work and move the way he moves in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, Doug Jones has a lot of that Hugo Weaving sort of thing to him. A lot of that that ability to be in a costume and still get emotion and that kind of stuff across.
I believe that John is paying a compliment to his role in V for Vendetta when he plays V, and he's in a mask, and you can actually feel his character, and he becomes super sympathetic, but he's wearing a freaking mask the whole movie. And much less related, or at least cool, is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. They give kudos to him all the time for the amount of emotion but he's a theater actor, so it makes more sense too.
And yeah, there's a few. There's Andy Serkis too, who is able to convey that.
Yep.
Like you have guys like that are just really good at being creatures, being hidden behind masks.
Why
so
are you
true.
laughing? Why are you laughing?
Just how he said it is like there's so many people who are comfortable being creatures out there. That's what got me. The creature features. But it works, and that's the thing. It's like you always need that actor who's willing to put the mask on. And it's a role that a lot of people actually shun because, oh, my face is covered or it's too much makeup. But no, sometimes the best roles you're covered in makeup and you're given the best performance of your whole life.
It's necessary. Like football, you need linemen.
Yep.
They're the most important part of the team. I'd argue more important than the quarterback. And
yeah.
I mean, probably not actually, but they're pretty damn important.
If there was no linemen, those quarterbacks are going to be gone.
You don't choose offensive lines in fantasy football. They're unsung heroes for sure. The people who run these outfits, and you could be a big wuss like Jean-Claude Van Damme and pull out a predator while they're in the jungle. That was probably the best thing to happen to that movie, but still, because it resulted in the redesign of the monster, but still, which
that would have been cool though.
Credit. Yeah,
but years later, you get Stallone and Van Damme years later though.
Yeah.
The movie itself, the ending of the movie is the most impactful part of the movie because they do the unthinkable, and they unalive Ofelia.
Yeah.
Or do they?
That's what he puts the question. That's a good question though, because mixing the idea of fantasy and reality, because you kind of see when the captain notices Ofelia with her baby brother talking to the Faun, he doesn't see the Faun. So maybe it's something that's like she's only able to see, but it also brings up the question is how much trauma has she gone through for her to start breaking down? And that's where my head was going, where she's breaking down, and then when she is like being unalive, laying there on the ground, and Mercedes is humming to her that beautiful, horrific melody, and her getting transferred to that world is just a safe space, I guess, something for her to ease her pain. That's
very analogous to the waiting room concept of When We Go. The people think that there's just a nice chemical dump and you get very euphoric and you go, and that's sort of kind of a really pretty way to depict it after having made the movie all about her sort of having to, a child having to live through all these horrors that she's witnessed.
And really at no point before that do you have any legitimate thought that what's going on is only in her head. Or at least I don't. Like, up until those last 5 minutes, I'm right along with her. I'm believing that she's really seeing this stuff and that this is, like, really happening to her. And it's not an escapist fantasy. And then as she lays there fading, I think it's really telling that the reunion with her mom and her dad and Faun in the underworld is before her heart stops, before her last breath. Because that's not that's that euphoria right at the end. Not this is where I've gone to.
See, that's one way to do it too.
I mean, I saw, it's interesting because this time I watched it, I saw a lot more darkness to the whole story. Her fantasy worlds and, how awful I came to see the captain as. That he is, I got to some really awful places of things that he may have done to cause her to really need these escapist fantasies.
Yeah, that's pretty much the darkest avenue you can go for the movie. We're not going to go deep into that, but
we don't need to.
If you have a vivid imagination, listener, don't use it right now, and you can understand what John's getting at. I truly don't think that Del Toro goes that dark, or maybe even needed to go that dark for this movie. So
No.
I tend to stay kind of left of that, and just think that it was just the horrors that she saw depicted, just regular human horrors that she saw depicted in the world around her. And then you don't even, I mean, the baby, it was her ultimate goal was saving the baby, her brother too, and she does achieve it. So there's that as well. And that's like she feels the reward, that whole reward ending feels like it's sort of due. But man, what a gut punch ending.
Yeah, earns her
Yeah,
place
that's
in her version of heaven.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. This fantasy heaven. And when you think about it, if a kid is, going through fairy tales and stuff, what did you do as a kid? You imagined yourself in these worlds, and you had invisible friends who were either these things, these people or whatever, or they were copies of them. So that's what she's doing, in my opinion. And I mean, it just hits you so hard. And what was the word we used? Harrowing? It's haunting. No, it's haunting.
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 It's a hauntingly beautiful ending. And it's one of my favorites of all time.
Thinking about it, it could also be her rage, like rage and jealousy based on the situation that happened and her mom moving on and feeling like her father's forgotten, being forced to be called this new person a dad, and they're having a kid, and like she feels like she's gonna be pushed aside, and her not doing that kind of shows that she's overcome that. Maybe
Well,
I just popped up in my head just now. That's why.
everything in her life up to that end is traumatic without any, sort of sinister subtexts or anything. Her dad's gone. Her mom is pregnant with her half brother. The father of that half brother is an awful human being. You grew up during a civil war and now, fighting guerrillas after it. She's been through a lot in a short period of time. So, it's not, and it's established with her books right off the bat that she's escapist.
I mean,
It's true.
we didn't touch on her name either. We could do another 20 minutes on her name, but Ophelia, it's kind of right on the nose, guys.
Yeah.
It tells you the end right there.
Yeah.
Ophelia. If you guys want to look into what the name means, it means helper, by the way, but it's also looking at what Ophelia from Hamlet goes through, and you'll kind of see why Del Toro named her Ophelia, and why that guides my opinion of the ending as well. But yeah, man.
Yep.
That's Pan's Labyrinth. We're gonna hit some reviews now, guys. This has not been a feel
Absolutely.
good episode thus far.
Well, let's see if we can pick it up a little bit with some of these reviews, because this was another one that was tough to find. The ones I found, it was
Oh.
tough. So we have a 90.
Spanish.
That's the first one.
And that's not that far off. So currently Pans has a 95% critic score and a 91% audience score.
Shockingly,
It's
audience
way
is
up
less.
there.
One statue.
I mean, it's the kind of movie that it doesn't surprise me is a little lower with the audience,
Yeah.
because
It's not
there's a
everyone's
lot.
cup of tea.
There's a lot of cinema stuff in here too that a critic is looking for that your average person isn't.
Where are the boobs?
There.
What do you mean she's dead? Ah, 5 stars. Guillermo del Toro at his finest. A dark yet beautiful journey that will stay with you long after the credit roll. Soundtrack is simple but moving. Story is audacious but expertly handled. It's hard to imagine such a film would exist, let alone be so celebrated if it were made by anyone else. So that is a 5-star review.
That is a five.
Yeah,
and that's
that
a
is.
5-star review for Del Toro as a director too, not just the movie. Wow. Well
So
done.
I grabbed a 3-star this time also, just because this 3-star is kind of absurd to me. Because this is you'll hear. I've heard so much about this film over the years that I really wanted to see it. It's 2 hours long, but I felt like I had seen everything I needed to see and knew exactly where the story would go after about 30 minutes. So at that point, I quit watching. Still, it's a good film and well cast. And the scene where the innocent father and son rabbit hunter duo gets unnecessarily slaughtered will haunt me for some time to come. I'm so confused by that review. That's why I put it in there. Like, parts of that are a 1-star review. I made it 30 minutes and I knew how it was going to end. And, sir, I call BS on that one.
I second that. How do you know that
Understand.
twist is going to be?
Yeah, that just leaves more questions than answers. The whole thing.
Yeah. All right. So now I have a 1-star. This one, I'm not going to mock the English on this because this one I had to translate from Portuguese.
Sweet.
Yep. So bad movies are boring. The script is bad. The characters are bad. The scenes are bad, including the animal scenes. And the cast is weak and nobody helps to improve the movie. The story is very bad and makes the movie worse. With all this, I don't recommend this movie. It's not worth watching.
What animal
Because
scenes?
Portuguese hated the Spanish. I see your bias, buddy.
Like I said, I'm not gonna make fun of some of the language in there because it's translated, and I don't know. Like, do the animal scenes, like, is that like a mistranslation
folklore
for
and all that.
monsters or folklore or something?
Fair.
Probably. But just how many times it's bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And then I have one more 1-star, and this is from the pro-fascist wing of society.
Is this
star.
movie woke?
May as well be. 1 star. Horrible film. Every Singe character is aggressively, uncompromisingly idiotic. Nothing any character did had any sense or cause. I simply do not understand how anyone could have watched this movie and not been driven to irrational anger over the sheer stupidity of these characters. I hated literally every single person in this movie. The film's sole saving grace is that they almost all die. And I'd like to imagine that Franco had the good sense to brutally kill off the rest. God-awful, cliche film. I have absolutely no idea why Guillermo del Toro is considered a good director.
Wow.
That person needs to be banned from writing reviews.
From like everything.
I hope Franco had the good sense.
That is insane. The good sense.
Sir,
Oh,
he's a fascist. He did not have any good sense.
Now I see why you call that the pro-fascist review.
jeez.
Hilarious.
Woof. All right,
Yeah.
so with those in mind, what did you guys think of Pan's Labyrinth?
Ryan?
Oh, you want me to go first? All right. So this is the second watch for me. Out of all series, you guys told me to watch it. I watched it in record time, funny enough, which is very oddly for me for a movie, but based on how you guys built it up, I wanted to see it and I fell in love with it. I eventually got it Criterion when they finally put it back in stock a few weeks ago now. And watching it again today, it's just an amazing piece of work. The writing, the music, his pacing, and it just shows how Del Toro is that pinnacle of director. Like, I think about it, when I was in college studying film, we studied a lot of like Kurosawa and Orson Welles and Scorsese and Coppola and even Leone, and you can add Del Toro to that list. And this film just proves it, and that's why I'm going to give it a 5-star, which is the blue star, because it deserves that
All the way
treatment.
to the blue.
Yeah, it deserves the
5-star is
treatment.
not a blue star.
Okay, so
Blue star is beyond 5.
so it's a blue star because it's a
You're just-
phenomenal film.
You're just doing that because you know I'm going to give it a blue star. You said you weren't going to give it a blue star earlier.
I threw
Don't
you
you-
off.
Give a blue star to... No, you don't give a blue star
you-
to be a people pleaser. Give it 5 if you think it's
No,
a 5-star movie.
It's a 5-star blue star. I thought that was it. So it's a blue star. It is a blue star because it's done great. I feel like I can pop it in after we're done talking, and I'm gonna watch it again and have a fun time. Not a fun time, but
Physical challenge. You now
um,
have to watch it again after the
it's
podcast.
it's Lady Snowblood time, sir.
Yeah. So that was disingenuous too. So I do believe this is a transformative movie, and that's what it takes to make a movie go beyond like the regular 5-star. Stand out as one of the great films of all time. For me in particular, and I think this is a subjective sort of thing to give it the blue star idea that we had. It's tone, it's storytelling ability, it's story itself, it's all these things, and it's like the overall message. And I think this one has to do with the child's imagination, which I think is a super powerful message, and one people forget too easily. And it reminded me of it, and I never forgot it again. And that's why I think that this movie is a blue star movie. It's just absolutely unparalleled in what it does, in my opinion.
I'm not going to make it a unanimous blue star.
I didn't think
Only
you were, buddy.
because I feel kind of stuck because the way we framed the blue star is that it's like the smallest of percentages of your reviews. Like the fewest movies of anything are going to be blue star. I already have one blue star this year. And knowing what's coming up on our calendar, I have the potential to want to give 2 more beyond this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the same level with you, brother.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to give Pans 5. Just the standard 5-star. It's hard to not give it the blue star because it is that special. It is that good. It's the storytelling. It's the atmosphere. It's just everything about Pans hits right. I just feel stuck with the blue star, so it's 5. It's a 5.
Fair enough.
Take it.
It's 5 for Ryan too, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Fine. It's 5-star.
It's
5-star.
Ryan.
It's
I knew I was
5-star.
gonna
How
beat
do
you
we
back.
keep talking you out of your reviews?
That's so easy. Well, because it was the whole time. He literally said it earlier, and then he knew I was gonna go with blue, and he got scared. I made him go first.
We keep talking. You gotta
Ryan.
stand on your convictions, man. Is this
All
5
right.
or blue?
I'll give it a 5 because you do make a point. I don't want to. Blue Star should be special, and I have 2 movies coming up this year that really I want to give a blue star. So, but
Might not
guarantee
give another
you-
one for the remainder of our podcast because it's hard for me to give it in this genre too.
If there is one that you don't give a blue star, I'd be shocked.
I didn't
I'd
give
be
one to
shocked.
Frankenstein. I loved Frankenstein.
We
Uh,
also weren't really doing the blue star concept yet when we did Frankenstein.
we gave it 5.
started it.
I think I gave it
I
5.
think we started that
We-
concept. I think.
We had discussed the concept, and it might have been because of Frankenstein that we discussed the concept of the
It's
blue
true.
star, the movie that transcends the 5 stars.
And it was knocking at the door.
But
and
I
think we got there.
I don't
was.
think we had officially designated that as a rating we were going to give.
And that one was a movie, like, he always has the thing. That one's redemption and forgiveness. And a few other concepts, but still. So, yeah, the pale man walked by.
I feel
All right,
though
guys.
that Frankenstein was a 5-star movie though, real quick, and
I do think so,
just
too.
because like I feel like if they didn't have so many people in the cookie jar, I think it could have been a blue star
Hey, when I put
opportunity.
people in the cookie jar.
No,
There's
but
more
we
reviews
gotta get
coming this
to
fall.
We got to get
Yep.
to the top 5.
Let's get to the top 5s.
top 5s. It's gonna be quick. It's like a Band-Aid right off. And last year we covered Frankenstein, and I originally did top 5 Guillermo del Toro films. And I just want to run through them real quick. It was Pacific Rim, The Mimic, Blade 2, Hellboy, Shape of Water. And I've grown my library to be more. I missed that. I was looking down. I'm sorry. What'd I say?
Let's go.
It's fine. Go, 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 go.
Go, 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 go.
So we're going to start off with number 5, updated list. And number 5 is going to be Frankenstein. The story following the life of Frankenstein, the egotistical scientist whose experiment in creating new life results in dangerous consequences. It's a great remake. I'm a big fan of the 32 film Curse, but Del Toro does great with the story, and he gives it his own unique twist. And then we get to number 4. Last time it was number 1, but I moved it to number 4, and that's The Shape of Water. Uh, Follows a mute cleaner at a high security government laboratory who falls in love with a captured humanoid amphibian creature and decides to help him escape from death at the hands of an evil colonel. It's a great film. It's a great homage to the creature from the Black Lagoon. Del Toro mixes romantic with dark fantasy perfectly, and it's just so good. And Michael Shannon, I feel, does steal the movie. He just does a great job as the antagonist. And
He
then
often does. He often steals movies.
oh yeah, yes he does. Zod is one that comes to mind for Man of Steel, but I digress on that. Number 3, we talked about it tonight. That is Pan's Labyrinth, and it's number 3 because it's just I love it. It's a great film. Gave it 5 stars, but after I saw number 2, which is his first film, Kronos, that spot goes to number 2 for Kronos. I enjoy the film so much. It's basically the idea of this antique dealer getting his hold on this mechanism that gives immortality, and just the history and the build up and the lore that he puts into it, and the strong message for a first film. Um, he went strong. It reminded me a lot of Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets, where this is what he was going to do. And then after Mean Streets, he does Taxi Driver. I mean, he did Kronos, and I think he did The Mimic right after. So he found his niche where he can build up from. So he can make Pan's Labyrinth and um, Pacific Rim and stuff that he wanted to do and enjoy, because Pacific Rim was something he wanted to do in honor of Godzilla films and stuff. And that leads to number 1. It's his most recent, third most recent film, and that's Nightmare Alley. I just watched that recently, and that's number 1. Uh, the story is about a carnival worker, played by Bradley Cooper, who's charming and ambitious with a mysterious path, who learns mental tricks and carny tricks, and he gets enveloped into this whole mystery uh, that leads to his rise as well as downfall. And I don't want to give too much away because it's such a great film, and if anyone hasn't seen it, don't watch the color version. Watch the black and white version. It's 9 minutes longer, but it adds more to the story, and it's a great build up. But that's my updated list, and I'm curious to hear what you got tonight, John.
I'm not. We're sort of in the same universe with our top 5s. Mine is 5 more Doug Jones movies. That brought up how awesome he is, like in costumes, and how he's able to convey that. And a lot of these are going to be that, but not my number 5. My number 5, he plays Dave, and it's Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. So after the events of the first Jack Frost, Sheriff Sam Tyler and his wife decide to decompress in a Caribbean paradise. All seems well until the killer snowman appears in the Caribbean paradise, now with heat resistance. Is it good? No, not at all. Is it fun? Oh, absolutely.
Say,
My number 4, and at this point, I just have to squeeze this movie onto our calendar with how much I talk about it on here. Doug Jones plays Roger North in John Dies at the End. I love this movie. I mean, he's a shape-shifting, mind-controlling, interdimensional traveling, cult-leading villain. So it's a new drug called soy sauce, leaves most users dead and bug-infested, but not Dave. Dave ends up with his own set of dimension traveling and psychic abilities as he attempts to save the world and his best friend, John. My number 3, we've brought up a bunch of times tonight. He plays one of the bugs, one of the Long Johns, and that's Mimic. So we've reached the Del Toro section of the list. Dr. Susan Tyler created an insect to eliminate cockroaches that were carrying a disease. 3 years later, her insects have not only survived and succeeded, but grown and have their own mission now: eliminate their only predators, people. You get a cast that includes Mira Sorvino, Charles S. Dutton, Josh Brolin, F. Murray Abraham, and Norman Reedus. Go check out Mimic. My number 2, again, Del Toro. It's his role as Abe Sapien in Hellboy. So, Demon Hellboy must save the planet from the dark mysticism of Rasputin. Ron Perlman is great as Hellboy. He's peak Hellboy. Like, David Harbour was a fine Hellboy. He's not Ron Perlman. Jones as Abe is like the perfect counterpart and sort of a preview of what my number 1 Doug Jones role is going to be. He's a fishman, physically strong, psychic abilities. Abe Sapien is like just an awesome character, but not as awesome as my number 1, which is the amphibian man in The Shape of Water. Ryan described Shape of Water. I'll do a quick run through in my way.
Hot
lonely,
and he's wet.
Hot and a lonely mute janitor working at a top secret research facility, isolated in her world until she encounters the newly arrived amphibian man. They enter into an unconventional relationship, and she may be his only hope for survival. The Shape of Water earned Del Toro his long overdue Oscar for Best Direction and Best Picture. It's kind of a shame to me that this is the only thing he's won for. I think, we've discussed that Pan should have won him a couple of awards. I think you could argue Nightmare Alley could have. I think you could argue Frankenstein could have. But
Reed.
his Shape of Water did it. And
Outside
that's my
looking
top
in
5.
on the cool kids table at lunch, unfortunately. And he's just way smarter and sexier than they are. I mean, no, he's not. There's a fantastic group of peers that he absolutely belongs with, but if you looked at his shelf, you wouldn't know it. That's basically it.
I mean,
we've watched his movies, so we do.
He's got his independent awards. He's got 2 Academy Awards.
Yeah, it's true. It's not something to sneeze at.
Yeah, he's got awards. He should probably have more. Yeah, that's my top 5, and a little added Del Toro love at the end.
Appreciate that. I almost teed up Ryan to see if he liked the monster in Shape of Water for its sort of homage to the creature, the Black Lagoon, from the Black Lagoon, because he's such a huge Universal horror fan.
It's definitely an homage, and that's what actually drew me into it. Because you know what? The creature
That's why
I love.
Almost teed him up because we're gonna end the episode now. It's an hour and a half long. So, all right, everybody, that was Pan's Labyrinth.
All right, have a good one, everyone. Enjoy. Get into some fairy tales.
See ya.
Be